This is Revelation part 13. Al-inzal and al-tanzil of the Quran, the processes of al-inzal and al-tanzil in communicating the Quran to humankind require that the Quran exists prior to its communication. Since the Quran contains the objective sources of reality, its revelation to Muhammad occurred in a conclusive, unalterable manner, regardless of any circumstances of revelation. Hence, the asbab al-nuzul do not apply to the Quran. Its revelation was inevitable, whether someone required this information or not. Allah even urged people not to ask questions in this respect before the Quran was revealed, as in Ma'idah 101. We have agreed that the Quran pre-existence before its inzal and tanzil could have been in the form of an Arabic text. This is because if it had been in an Arabic text before it was revealed, Allah would be an Arabic native speaker. This is, of course, an absurd idea. What really happened was that Allah changed the Quran from something else unknown to us into an Arabic text. That is, He changed the text becoming a sayrura, or as we can say, a mutation. And the following verses attest to this truth. We have made it a Quran in Arabic that you may be unable to understand and learn wisdom. Zukhruf part 3. Therefore, rather than being an Arabic text, the Quran was objective reality before its revelation, embodying general, absolute, and eternal laws of the universe, unaltered since the creation of the world. Allah revealed it for the first time in human history as an Arabic text. That is, He developed it becoming so that it was by way of al-inzal perceivable by the human mind. We have sent it down as an Arabic Quran in order that you may learn wisdom. Yusuf verse 2. According to this sequence, al-inzal is the process of transforming ja'al, the absolute laws of life and nature, which had been stored primordially in a tablet preserved, lawhan mahfuz, and in a record clear, imam mubin, or which were derived directly from Allah's knowledge, ilm Allah, into the linguistic form of the Arabic language, so that these laws, which previously existed outside the human mind, could now be perceived, heard, and seen. Al-tanzil, in contrast, represents the subsequent objective transfer of the content of al-kitab via the messenger angel Gabriel into Muhammad's brain, from where he delivered it verbatim to the people of Mecca and Medina, whereas al-inzal occurred in one single impulse during the Laylat al-Qadr. We have indeed revealed this Al-Quran in the night of power, Al-Qadr 1. Al-inzal took 23 years to be complete. Al-tanzil took 23 years to be complete. I repeat, Al-tanzil took 23 years to complete. The reason for this long process of revelation in installments was that Allah wanted to strengthen the hearts of the believers gradually. Those who reject faith say, "Why is not the Quran revealed to him all at once? Thus is it revealed, that we may strengthen your heart thereby, and we have rehearsed it to you in slow, well-arranged stages gradually." Furqan 32. The Quran was revealed orally. It would have been possible to reveal it in written form as well as was done with Moses' tablets, but its dhikr, its format of remembrance, was an oral format which did not allow the unbelievers to touch Allah's revelation with their hands and derides His truth identity. This implies that today, when we touch a copy of the Quran, we do not actually touch the Quran itself. The latter was revealed in one impulse during the night of power and transformed into oral Arabic. Instead, we have in front of us a copy of the Quran, a parchment qirtas, which we can touch with our hands. Thus, what we touch is ink on paper, not the Quran itself. It also refers to it as tanzil, from the Lord of the world, implying that after the original Quran had been hidden, it was first translated into Arabic and then transferred by Jibril orally, not in writing, to Muhammad. Those who are claimed to touch it, al-mutahharun, are in fact angels processing al-tanzil, since no human, ritually pure or impure, could have ever touched the original Quran. Ritual impurity and touching the Quran are simply two different things, conflated together by unscrupulous tafsir exegetes. Al-inzal and al-tanzil of the al-Kitab, Allah blots out and confirms what He pleases, and with Him is the mother of the book, al-Kitab, Surah Ra'd, verse 39. Two important things are stated in verse 39 of Surah Al-Ra'd. A. Matters of the mother of the book, al-Kitab, are either blotted out or confirmed, and this contains an acknowledgement of possible alterations. And B. The mother of the book is distinct from the Quran because the al-Kitab is with him, that is, in the immediate vicinity of God. From this we deduce that the al-Kitab is not inscribed in the tablet preserved, Lawh al-Mahfuz, and not stored in the record clear Imam Mubin. Hence, everything contained in the al-Kitab, that is, ritual prescriptions and specific rules of social behavior, are not absolute laws. If the fast of Ramadan, for example, had been inscribed in the tablet preserved, it would have become a word of God, Kalamullah. And if it had been stored in the Imam Mubin, it would have been an objective fact of nature, that is, the truth. And people would instinctively begin to fast whether they wanted to or not. Fasting, as any other ritual and social behavior, would become a universal human attitude that recognizes neither modification nor deviation. But this is simply not the case. We know that Allah said, "We have assigned a law and a path to each of you. If God had so willed, He would have made you one community." Ma'idah verse 48. Instead, the al-Kitab allows human behavior to change and diversify. It is for this reason that humankind had not become a single people, since God has prescribed a law and path, shar'an wa manhajan. This content of the al-Kitab is issued directly from God and responds to causes of revelations, asbab, al-nuzul. If Muhammad, for example, had not frowned upon the beggar Abdullah bin Maktoum, verse 1 to verse 4 of Surah Abasa would never have been revealed. The same applies to the messages of previous prophets who brought legislation that was entirely geared towards the historical context of their time period and which had been annulled once this period was over. So, for example, a very strict legal code was prescribed for the Jews in recompense for their willful disobedience, for we are true in our ordained ordinance, Al-An'am verse 146. Also, but once things had improved, Jesus was sent to make lawful to you part of what was before forbidden, Al-Imran verse 50. Later legislation abrogated earlier ones, and through Muhammad's messengerhood we hear about instructions, ta'limat, that abrogated earlier messengerhoods. This was possible because revelations of the al-Kitab were not taken from the tablet preserved, but given directly by Allah, transmitted by Gabriel, and stored in Muhammad's brain. It implies that al-inzal and al-tanzil occurred simultaneously, that is, not separately one after the other like in the Quran. And no pre-revelation took place, since the revealed messages were immediately available to Muhammad in their perceivable Arabic version. We thank you for following part 13. Revelation part 14 will follow.